Welcome to Sexy Boss Interviews with Heather Havenwood, www.sexybossinc.com.
Welcome to the Sexy Boss interview series. I'm your host, Susan Bratton. I'm the CEO of Personal Life Media, and it's my privilege to interview Heather for you today so that you can get to know the woman behind Sexy Boss. Hello, Heather, and welcome to your own interview.
Thank you, Susan, for that. Yes, I'm here in my own interview. I love that. Thank you.
And I want to start with what your vision is for what a sexy boss is and isn't. So can you just start with that?
Yeah, I think my vision of being a sexy boss is someone that says, you know what, I choose to create my own life right now, no matter what the situation is, and get out of a bad relationship. That's a sexy boss to me. Anyone that makes a decision, a woman that says, I'm not going to live by someone else's rules and expectations. I'm going to create my own life as I want, no matter what the situation is. A woman who's willing to step into the ring. That's who you are. That's a lot of my friends are. They're willing to step in the ring and say, I'm not going to have to play the rules by what I think they are. I'll play by their rules and I'll beat them, or at least I'll play. And I think that's the missing element. A lot of women, I hear things like, well, they're not playing fair, or I don't like that rule, or I don't want to do it that way. It's like the rules are in place. There's already business rules. So learn how to play them, but don't go in a way where you have to be a man. Be your feminine self and allow that to come out. And that to me is a sexy boss. Sexy and sexuality, and why that's important in the business world. I think women feel that sexy should be at home and sexuality should not be in the workplace. It's a sexuality, not the action of it. So sexuality and the life force is our life force. It's the energy of the sexuality, the sexual energy transmuting into charisma and power, and women, we try to suppress it. Our society tries to repress it. It is about who you are and owning that and choosing to own that part. Why is it that men go out there and promote themselves and women don't? Why that is because we're taught to be, as women, good little girls, as I was. Right. Good little girls, follow the rules, don't talk back to the teacher, don't ask questions, and definitely do what they say, make good grades. And a lot of women are valedictorians of high schools and colleges around the world. They're great at following the rules and making sure they win that game. The problem is that we move into business and the game changes, and they forgot to tell us there's new rules. And for some reason, a lot of men, either they have the mentors or other men, or it's innate in football or different kinds of athletic.
I think athletic teams really help men.
Yeah, I think they really do, because they have to go out there and there's a different rule book when you're on the field. With women in the business world that I've seen, they feel like they have to be a certain way about it. They have to be like a bitch or mean or something. Mm-hmm. And if you look at a man who's competitive, like your example, the competitive sports, they can beat them and then go, hey, what's up, man? Let's go for a beer later. Yeah. And still have this great relationship. And that to women is almost kind of weird. And I don't understand, how do you do that? How do you be beating them and then like hang out together? And so it's that kind of dichotomy that's so frustrating with women when they go out into the real world. I know for myself, I learned the rules of the game and I played those rules, and I had to learn how to compete but then be part of the company team. You don't have to be a certain way to learn the rules and master the rules. You don't have to be bitchy or mean or ugly. You just be a sexy boss, and that's what it's all about. I was always the girl behind the scenes. I was never up front, and I didn't have my own platform, as they called it, because really at the beginning of when I got into this industry in 2001, it was more about I wasn't allowed to. I honestly was told, well, women can't sell, or women are not good speakers. These are words I was told because I kept asking. I want to go on stage. I want to help women do this. I want to help people. No, you can't. That's a man's job, believe it or not. And if you look at the speaking industry in general, most of them are men. And so I decided to take what I call the wizard behind the scenes look and say, okay, I'll just make them great. And I will, make money off of making them amazing. And so that's how I started in this industry, was making other great speakers better, or helping them with marketing, or helping them with anything in branding and creating what their business was. And then that's how I got into internet marketing, and then it moved from there. And then, as you know, in 2006, I created my first platform, which that was in the dating industry, where and still have that, teaching men how to date women. But I still was behind the curtain. That's still a little bit behind the curtain. It's not stepping out there and teaching really women on how to own their life and be the sexy boss they need to be.
How would a woman engage in the process of being part of the Sexy Boss program? What would that be like in her life?
Being a sexy boss is what I call a community and a way of life. It's not something that you just say, oh, okay, one day I'll be it. It's really taking the pledge. And there's something that I have in our manifesto. If you go to sexybossinc.com, and you can download the Sexy Boss Manifesto. And what that means is it's a creation of being a certain way. And you're taking the pledge that you're going to be part of a global community of women around the world to say, yes, I'm going to create my life and take the pledge. And so that's step one. That's really step one, is making the decision to be different. And you talked a little bit, and you mentioned other organizations. Honestly, the only organizations I've ever really been involved in have been mainly men. I've been to a few female organizations, and I never really resonated with them, because I felt like it was a lot of excuses. I felt like it was a lot of help me, help me, help me. It wasn't in a lot of shoulder pads, or it was very fake. It wasn't real stuff. And so that's why I always went to the men's, because they taught me real life things on how to make money. This is what you do to make money. This is what you do to make money. And so that's what Sexy Boss is going to be about. It's a way of life and a way to think. It's a mindset first. And then we're going to be giving you the skill sets through our different seminars and programs, startup guides, e-courses, the VM3, which I love, which is the VM3 is the virtual mentoring and mastermind magnet, where we're going to be teaching you hardcore information to use in your business to take it to another level, to leverage things like the internet and things like marketing, things like copywriting, all those types of things. Those are the things that you need to get involved with, and surround yourself with that type of thinking. The next level would be the Sexy Boss Mastermind, which is my ultimate favorite. It's my favorite of all favorites, is because I get to interact with a small group of people and what I call give them tough love on why they're not moving to the next level in their life, and why they're not making the kind of money they know they can with that particular thing that they're doing. In my experience with one of the classes I actually taught a few years ago, which was women always sell themselves short. And I always had to show them, let me show you a business over here that's selling the same service at triple the price. And there's no reason why you should be not selling at that same price. And they always had some excuse around it, and that's because of the programming. So going back to how people can integrate Sexy Boss in their life, it's first taking the pledge, and taking the pledge that they're going to have the right mindset to move forward and make all kinds of money in their life. Right. You, as a woman, can create the money. You, no matter your age, no matter your income, no matter your background, you create the money. And there is a freedom, there is a power in that. And it's the stopping the whining, and this is about making money. Bottom line. Thank you for that. You have to get clear first on who you are, and part of that journey is being in vibrational alignment with who you are. And you might be saying this is woo-woo. It's not. This is fundamental spiritual alignment and accountability with yourself first. Vibrational accountability with yourself, not your family, not your spouse, not society, not what you're supposed. Vibrational accountability with yourself. And that is the core of being a sexy boss.
What is vibrational accountability? How do you get it?
As in the most simple component of it is really asking that question, is this in alignment with myself? Is this something that feels good? Does it feel light or does it feel heavy? I know that sounds really simple, but it's something that my personal coach years ago taught me. She would say to me, close your eyes, think of the situation, think of both choices or three, and then allow yourself to feel. Does it feel heavy, this choice, or does it feel light? Check in. Does this feel heavy or does this feel light? Not scared. There's a difference between something feeling like, oh, well, it's new, it's different, I've never been there before. That's just like the unknown. That's not heavy. That just means you just never been there before, but it feels like the right decision. That is an accountability with yourself. And so when you move forward on something that feels light but unknown, and you get challenges along the way, you're going to be able to move through those a lot faster and a lot easier than you're taking the route that feels heavy and forced and hard. Life should not be hard and a struggle. We make it that way. And if we create a life that we desire, you're going to come across challenges. You're going to come across hardships. Of course you are. But it doesn't have to be a struggle. It can be, well, I'm on the right road. This is where I need to be. It feels right. And I'm just in a place where I just don't know.
How are you going to help her go from where she is right now, which is probably feeling frustrated, disempowered, working in a job where she's not in charge, not in control, doesn't love it, and maybe doesn't even have the confidence to feel like she could run her own business to get that personal freedom? Like, that seems so remote to her. How are you going to help that woman transition into her and understand what it is deep inside her that she really can do and wants to do? How do you get from A to B?
I'm going to show you the water. I'm going to point where the water is. I'm going to take you from where you're at to the water. But the woman, the person has to drink. And it's the first element of that is getting past that mindset and making the decision. I mean, I know personally, I've produced over 350 events, but I've been to probably double that in the world of either real estate investing, internet marketing, branding, copywriting, all kinds of events. Why is it for a certain period of time that I had all this data and information and knowledge and didn't create money out of it? Because knowledge is not power. That's not power. Power is knowledge plus the ability to act on the knowledge. That's power. And that's the distinction right there, is that mindset. The ability to act is not necessarily ability like I physically can or can't. Everyone can. It's about the mental ability. And so the first thing is to get clear on is making the decision. So if a woman's listening to this, I would say the first thing is to make the decision to be and to choose a new path. Like, that's just clear, one. And to choose that path, and you don't even know what that path is yet, that's okay. That's a great place to be in the unknown. So staying in that place and saying, okay, I just choose right now to take the pledge to be a sexy boss and to create the life that I want on my own terms. That right there is the first step to creating that. Then the next step after that is getting clear. And that when you get clear on something, you what I call bump against the road. That means stepping out of your comfort zone, trying something new, taking action where you've never taken action before, but surrounding yourself with other people, in this case, other sexy bosses that are taking massive action and they are experiencing the result of that massive action. It could be fear, it could be excitement, it could be money, and then taking that experience and just keep going and keep going and keep going. And I take that back to, you talked about men and athletics. I was a dancer, meaning I did a drill team and cheerleading and stuff like that. And it wasn't football, obviously, but I look at business a lot like dancing, because we would do the same dance, okay? We create the dance at the beginning of the year, and we do it over and over and over and over and over. I mean, we do it over and over and over again. You think doing it 5 times at a practice, 5 days a week, times 4 months, we get it perfect. Well, you're dealing with 150 girls, and you're dealing with all these different things going on, and so that's why we did it over and over and over again. And in business and in life, you've got to make the decision what you want, and then Repeat, practice, and practice, and practice, and practice, and practice, and practice. And then it will become like second nature, and you could do it with your eyes closed. And that's what this part is. You can't just make a decision today about being a sexy boss and then forget about it tomorrow. You have to make the choice over and over and over again and say, I'm going to choose and create a new life. I'm choosing to create my own destiny. I'm ownership of my own life. And surround yourself with people that will be there for you.
What are you going to do to prevent people from thinking up a business that ain't going to fly? Like, somebody needs to tell you your business idea is a stupid one. It's like, that's not going to happen in the world. Now, I've never been one to want to burst anyone's bubble, but there are like a whole world of bubbles out there of bad business ideas and women slaving away at them, thinking they're entrepreneurs, and they're not going to get ahead. What do you do about that?
That's a great question. And honestly, if someone's listening to this and they don't want someone to tell them the truth, they need to get off the phone. Just stop right now. Just get away from my site altogether, because I'm very to the point and blunt around this kind of topic. I've told women, I remember I had this conversation a few months ago with a woman. I go, bottom line, I got that you want to save the world. This is not going to make money. You're welcome to spend $5,000 on a website. Guess what? Congratulations. It's not gonna go. It's not that I'm saying that your idea is horrible. You need to go back to the drawing table and really look at, well, how are you going to monetize that? Advertisers. Okay, that's not going to work. Do you understand the capacity, what you're trying to create? So it's more like, I like to teach, okay, take an idea. How do you leverage opportunities are already there, like Amazon? Like, I'm right now going to be leveraging Amazon. I'm not going to go create a new Amazon. I'm going to leverage Amazon, right? I'm going to leverage iTunes. I'm going to leverage the things that are already there. That's what men do. Men don't create their own platform. They leverage what's already there. They go into situations and they leverage, and they learn, what are other businesses doing? How can I do that or make that better? And women just have to think that way. And, personally, I've been a personal coach and business coach for a long time. And, most of my clients at the end of the day love me, but during the day, they probably want to kill me. And they've told me otherwise, like, I was really mad at you because you basically told me that my idea stunk. It's not the idea stunk. It's that the thinking about the concept and going to the end of how are we going to make the money around it is the piece that was just not clear. And the more we drill down, then they got something. They left with a blueprint that said, oh, this is a business, and now I have to implement it. So, that, again, like I said, I've been to other quote unquote women networking events. I haven't had great experiences at it. That's probably why that's why I'm creating Sexy Boss, because I feel there's a huge gap in the marketplace, and women are not being taught the real game in business, on how to create a real business, not a solo entrepreneur business, a real business, a business that you actually have a real company at, a real company. I mean, that sounds so basic, but a lot of women don't have their own company or an LLC or a corp. They don't even have the basics of that because they weren't taught that. They just thought, oh, well, I didn't know I needed that. So, what I say to women who are listening, who want to buy my book, go to sexybossinc.com, but more importantly, only go if you're willing to take the pledge and not be sissy or whiny about it. I don't want sissies. I don't want whinies. They just don't do well here at Sexy Boss Inc. And if you want to make a huge transformation in your life, then come hang out and let's go to the next level.
Heather Ann Havenwood, CEO of Havenwood Worldwide, LLC, and Chief Sexy Boss. You are doing an amazing job creating a platform that is reality-based and uses the latest in technology and business strategy. And I just really want to thank you for allowing me the honor of talking to you more about Sexy Boss Inc. today.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you for your time. And of course, your amazing sexy boss energy. I appreciate you very much.
You have been listening to Sexy Boss Interviews with Heather Havenwood, Chief Sexy Boss. Go to www.sexybossinc.com for more information and education to empower you to be a smart, sexy, and rich sexy boss.